History doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme, and so it makes sense to try to learn from history what happened in the past. And what better tool could there be than looking at the top cryptos just 10 years ago? Place number 1, of course, is Bitcoin. Are you surprised? Place number 2 is Litecoin. Place number 3 is XRP. All of those altcoins are still pretty well known 10 years after. But let's go beyond the top 3. We've got Peercoin, we've got Namecoin, Novacoin, Feathercoin, Primecoin. Wait, there is a WorldCoin as well, but it has a different ticker, so it's a different WorldCoin. Terracoin, Bullion, Mincoin, Devcoin, Copperlark, Megacoin. I probably don't have to continue reading. You might get the gist here. These cryptocurrencies have
disappeared
from the collective mind, and for good reason. Let's look at the relative performance of those altcoins to Bitcoin. And to be fair, let's not just look at those obscure coins, let's actually start with Litecoin and XRP. Litecoin at the time was at $4. Now Litecoin is at $65. 65 divided by 4 is 16x, not too bad. But what did Bitcoin do during the time? Bitcoin went from $326 to now $28,000. So an 85x. 85x versus 16x for Litecoin. So it took on more risk by buying the underdog, by buying the smaller of the two coins, but you got way less return. Had you just bought Bitcoin, you have returned way more. What about XRP? 10 years ago, it was at 0.8 cents. 0.86 cents to be more precise. Now it's at 52 cents. 52 divided by 0.86 cents is a 60.5x. Again, less than what Bitcoin did in those last 10 years. Now with those two major assets that are still known to this date already underperforming Bitcoin, you can already imagine what's going to happen with the rest here. Let's not make that calculation directly, let's simply just compare prices. And let's keep in mind that Bitcoin during the time made an 85x. That's the bar that has to be crossed. You take on more risk by buying a more risky altcoin. You need to beat Bitcoin. Let's just go with the remaining of the top 10. Peercoin went from 61 cents to 29 cents. So instead of making an 85x, it lost 50%. Namecoin went from 63 cents to $1.35. At least it doubled, but still way worse than the rest. Novacoin, $5.17, now at 2 cents. Complete destruction of capital. Let's look at the chart. It did have its run up to $24 and now it's at 2.4 cents. 99.99% loss, literally. Feathercoin, 10.8 cents, 0.2 cents now. Primecoin, 75.4 cents, 0.25 cents now. The WorldCoin, the original WorldCoin, at 3.3 cents, now at less than 1 cent. So another 70% drop. And let's not forget Terracoin. So here we go. 14 cents, 1.1 cent today. Now what's so impressive about this? No matter what you bought 10 years ago, completely independent of what you chose, if you did not choose the number 1, the Bitcoin, you underperformed. You underperformed with Litecoin, you underperformed with XRP, and if you didn't pick those two, then you went down really massively, up to 99.99%, but at least down 50% or so. Flash forward to today. Who tells you that Solana won't be the next Feathercoin? Or that Cardano might be the next Primecoin? Or any of those other altcoins? Who tells you that those will still be known, that this will still be relevant just 5 or 10 years from now? The crypto space is hyper dynamic, and the vast majority does not outperform Bitcoin, even up to this day. Altcoins only tend to outperform very briefly, in brief periods of time, and only specific ones. So you have to be right with the timing and you have to be right with the asset. You have to find a way to exit. You can't just buy and hold for 10 years. Have a look at this chart. This is total 3 divided by Bitcoin's market cap. Total 3 is the altcoin market cap. So it looks at all of cryptocurrencies market cap, but it excludes Bitcoin and Ethereum from this. So everything but Bitcoin and Ethereum. And this is now relative to Bitcoin's market cap. In other words, how much capital is in that versus the entire market versus Bitcoin. When the altcoins are really bullish, then in aggregate they are larger than Bitcoin's market cap by 1.2x roughly. If the altcoins are really depressed, then they are only 20% of Bitcoin's market cap. Note how this fluctuates, right? And if we really look closely here, there's only 2 moments in time where altcoins did really well. Over here, up to January of 2018, and over here, up to May of 2021. Now what happened here from December 2020 to May of 2021? The December of 2020 is when Bitcoin was already at 40k. So Bitcoin made more than a 10x from its lows. People were looking for the next Bitcoin because then the upside potential when we are already at 40k isn't that large anymore, right? People weren't talking about Bitcoin hitting 1 million. They were only talking about Bitcoin maybe hitting 100k. But if you currently see so much positive momentum and you want to materialize, you want to monetize on that momentum, you want to look at something smaller than Bitcoin. So risk tolerance goes up at the end of a bull market when Bitcoin has already rallied. That's when the altcoins outperform. And that outperformance in aggregate was 350%. Now let's look at this. October of 2017 to January of 2018. That's over here. This brief period, Bitcoin was already at 7,500, did a bit more of a rally, but we are very much at the end of the bull run, right? Again, Bitcoin hit all-time high after all-time high. People were looking for the next Bitcoin. That's then when the altcoin rotation happens. That's when you want to be temporarily in altcoins for just a few weeks, maybe months. If you buy and hold altcoins outside of that period, you simply just see underperformance. Like this, minus 80%, or like this so far, minus 40%. What can we learn here from history? We can learn that you should never marry an altcoin. Most altcoins underperform in aggregate. In fact, all of the altcoins underperform Bitcoin if we just look at the last 10 years, right? 10 years ago. We also learn that the altcoin outperformance happens in very specific points in time. Most of the time, they don't do as well. And so instead of trying to find this one altcoin gem that might do temporarily better than Bitcoin during times like this, the better way, in my opinion, is to bet on falling altcoin prices, to short the relative valuation of altcoins to Bitcoin. So you want to be betting that the Satoshi valuation of altcoins, of very inflating altcoins, goes down. That's in fact the major strategy that I'm currently discussing with the other premium members. We are betting on altcoin underperformance. And with that strategy, in the last 3 months, we have made 8.5% roughly outperformance over just buying and holding, simply because we used wrapped Bitcoin as collateral and we borrowed very bad altcoins against this. So we had a loan denominated in the altcoin, and the altcoin bled versus Bitcoin. And then once we want to take profit, we turn this around again, right? We pay off that altcoin denominated loan in the Bitcoin. 8.5% in just 3 months outperformance. That's so far what we are getting. We have a capital pool just for the premium members where you can participate in all of this. You can deposit your wrapped Bitcoin and then we trade all together. So we discuss as a group what trades to take, what trades to close. And after 3 months, you get the funds returned again. The deposit period stops on the 11th of October, by the way. But you don't have to hand over your crypto, right? You can simply just follow the trades that we share in Premium. Or you can make your own research, right? The main takeaway is don't marry your altcoin bag. Your altcoin bag might be the next Feather coin. In fact, it's very, very likely that it's the next Feather coin. Why don't you just bet on the vast majority doing poorly? Because that's the safe bet. That's the easy way to make alpha, to make outperformance. Why not bet on the masses doing worse than Bitcoin? Because that's what we see in the majority of times and in the vast majority of coins as well. Don't fall victim to bad crypto investments. Instead, join our Telegram. Link is down below.